Hello and good afternoon. Grandmother clock is chiming, so it must be time to talk about keto. Hi, I'm Casey Durango of Go Keto with Casey, where I talk about how I've lost 97.4 pounds since starting the ketogenic protocol, how you may be able to lose weight, improve your health, regain control of your life like I did. I hope you're well. We are well on this Saturday afternoon. Thank you, first of all, for allowing me to be part of your Saturday and for you being part of the group. Today's topic, this is one I'm actually pretty excited about. It's keto versus emotions. Now, what the heck would that mean? Keto versus emotions, what do they have to do with each other? Let me give a quick reminder what the ketogenic protocol is. It is a diet whereby you decrease your carbohydrate intake to a level to where your liver stops pumping out glucose for fuel. And once that happens, our bodies happily shift into burning ketone bodies or fat for fuel. That's all that is. For pretty much people across the board, if you want that to happen and you want it to happen effectively, the idea is to keep your total carb intake, not net carb, total carb intake to 20 grams or fewer a day. 20 is a maximum, not a minimum. Eat fatty sources of protein. If you want, check out Dr. Eric Westman's page 4, famous page 4. There's a link below. Don't eat if you're not hungry, and stop when you're satiated. That's it. So the not eating if not hungry is where we can get tripped up. Frankly, the food is the easy part. Figuring out what the food it's pretty easy. It's fatty sources of protein. It's essentially animal product. That's it. What you don't eat are everything else. You don't eat grains. You don't eat root vegetables for the most part. Vegetables in general are not unlimited, which makes this different than many so-called diets, where it's, vegetables and fruit are free. Nope, they're full of carbs, particularly fruit. So the vegetables are limited to about a cup a day of non-starchy vegetables. This is before cooking. And about 2 cups a day of leafy greens a day before cooking, maximum. But you don't even need to eat those. I go many days without eating a vegetable. All right, now I'm sorry. Jack is in the background. You can't see him, I don't think. But he's slurping his water. Sorry about that. Jack likes to make an appearance. Thank you, Jack. So that's it. But what about this don't eat if you're not hungry? And what does that have to do with emotions? Well, you tell me. Please raise your hand if you have been known to eat when you're not hungry, but because you were fill in the blank. Angry, lonely, tired, irritated, jealous, exhausted, felt put upon, celebrating. It doesn't have to be just negative stuff. Scared, anxious. Please raise your hand. Yes. LB Alexander, raising hand. They are raising their hand. Yes, yes, yes. Hand here. There's actually a little hand emoji. You can raise your hand. I've done that as well. So we have a saying around Go Keto with Casey. If hunger's not the problem, food is not the solution. And bored, there you go, Teresa. Lots of hands going up. So let me tell you a little story. So I have this private Patreon support group. Patreon.com/Go Keto with Casey, link below. It is a fantastic group of people. They happen to be the brightest, most entertaining and supportive group of people ever. And just because I'm biased does not mean it's not true. So yesterday, we were having a patron-only live stream. Just to let you know, when you're a member of my Patreon group, I do 20 video snippets a month from my kitchen, before coffee, before makeup, before anything else. 20 a month for patrons only. I do several patron-only live streams a month on Crowdcast and several patron-only video group support sessions on Zoom a month. And there's a patron-only Facebook, secret hidden Facebook group. So then I'm telling you this because of something. So yesterday we're having one of our several patron-only live stream sessions on Crowdcast. So we chat, and this is great. And it's very similar to YouTube, except that it's very attendee driven, because what I'm doing is I'm staring at all the comments all the time. Whereas on this, I'm trying to look at the camera. And I get to comments, but and people know each other. They find out each other's backstories. There are new people. They introduce themselves. You share as much or as little as you wish. So we're talking about, because I started a garden thing. I've got seedlings started on my kitchen table under some grow lights and on top of heat mats. We talked about that. We talked about my chickens. We talked about people's, the fact that they haven't seen bare ground in months because of the snow, et cetera, et cetera. So then I asked, is anybody struggling with anything? Because it's not just a group where we get together and talk about gardening. It's a support group. And I believe one of our members, and you know who you are, if you don't mind me sharing, let me know. I think you know who you are. I'm going to share about the challenge, the challenges. So this person was very transparent to say, I'm struggling. This person knows how to do the protocol, has done it, has lost weight. No, I don't mind at all, writes Annie Lewis. So Annie has been successful. She's strong and disciplined. She's a rowing fiend. I mean, she rows. Like, is it 5,000 meters you row at a time or in a week or something, Annie? It's crazy. She gets out, hikes, rides bikes. The food, though, is a challenge. So she's lost weight, and then she had one handful of caramel popcorn watching a movie, and that was the end of that, and weight came back on. So now she's working away. But she said, I'm struggling. My job has thrown me for a bit of a loop. And she writes, I don't handle quick change well. So she went back to eating, not 100%, but, went back to eating food that does not serve her. So some folks were, saying what they do for cravings. And some people do this, have some pickle juice, which is all great. But I intuited that Annie's situation was not craving, and it was not hunger. It was a decision to eat food for a reason. And not one that says, oh, I think this will be great and it'll serve me well. It was more tied to her irritation. So thinking on it, we have to think, well, if we are triggered by emotions, whatever they may be, and our habit has been to run to the pantry or run to the fridge or run to the fast food restaurant or run to the convenience store, if that's our habit and it's been ingrained for a long time, any emotion, and face it, most of them, when they're triggered by that, are negative emotions. So what do? Do we just throw up our hands and say, well, there you go. I'm powerless. Here's my shirt. I'm stronger than a cookie. We forget how strong we are. Annie forgets how strong she is. She's strong, not just strong physically. She's strong mentally, whether she knows it or not. So we talked, we went back and forth. Trish from Fort Collins, Colorado, I don't know whether she's here, but she shared, what I've started to do, because Trish has been known to go to the convenience store and get some red vines or a Twinkie, and then come home and put them down the garbage disposal. So she has started to replace that habit with, she keeps boiled eggs on hand. It's great. Boiled eggs are great. You have 2 boiled eggs and a glass of water, and it's very difficult to eat anything else. I don't know what the properties are about boiled eggs. It's even different than scrambled eggs. There's something about hard cooked eggs. So she says, I just keep those in the fridge. When I'm feeling those emotions and I'm thinking about red vines or Twinkies, I go and get a couple of boiled eggs. Great. So this is what's great about a support group. This was a community effort. So it came to me, what would be cool? Get some boiled eggs and write on the shells emotions. Write the words that reflect the emotions. And when you're feeling whatever those emotions are, literally eat your emotions. Because sometimes that's what we say. Well, I just eat my emotions. I'm anxious, so I eat them. But that sometimes means, double stuffed Oreos. But what about eating your emotions? You're literally eating the emotions: fear, anxiety, irritation, loneliness, boredom. Go get them, look at it, acknowledge the fact that, yes, I am bored right now. I'm going to eat a boiled egg. And then eat it. And then smash the shells. Well, let me tell you what. Within an hour of that live stream, I checked on the private Go Keto with Casey Patreon only Facebook group, and there were a series of photographs. Trish, a great photograph, because I had said, the great thing about eggs, they're like medicinal because they even come in almost capsule form. So Trish took a picture of 2 eggs. She had written on the shells, frustration. So frustration. And she's frustrated. She's a small business owner. She runs the cooking studio out of Fort Collins, Colorado. If you saw my cooking salmon video, it comes from a technique that Trish shared. She does remote stuff. So check out the cooking studio. And she does kids classes and everything. Anywho, but she's a small business owner in a pandemic in the food central industry. So she's been frustrated. So frustration. So she has a picture of these 2 eggs. Frustration. Behind it is an empty plate that says eat, and then a glass of water behind that. And the quote was, "Take 2 with a glass of water and call me in the morning." I loved it. And then Annie showed a carton of eggs with all kinds of emotions written on them, things I wouldn't have even thought of. And then I love this, and I'm stealing it. Full disclosure. She says, "I've got a carton full of egg emotions." How hysterical is that? Egg emotions. And then even this morning, she said, "I need some more emotions. I'm going to keep this going." And then what was it you wrote, Annie, that I said I'm going to steal? Oh, need to name the emotions. If I can name it, I can tame it. What is the point of all this? It's to give props to Annie and Trish and everybody else in the group. But our emotions should not lead us to make poor choices. What if we told those around us who loved us and depended on us that we felt anxiety, so we went to the casino and blew all the grocery money because we were feeling anxious? And that's the reason we made that poor choice. What would our reaction be, our response? What if one of our kids said, "Well, I was feeling bored, so I lit firecrackers and threw them in the neighbor's garage"? Really? Because you were bored? Oh, well, if you were bored, then yeah. No, we can't let our emotions dictate making bad decisions. And that's all that is. Annie was making a decision to eat food, I'm guessing in a semi-passive aggressive way. She's mad at her boss, or she's mad at her employees, or she's mad at her customers, or she's mad at her kids, or she's mad at the situation. I'll show you. It's like what is this? What is the old saying? Revenge is like taking poison yourself and expecting the other person to get sick. So say I get mad at my lovely mate. "I'm so mad at you. I could just, I've wasted the last 40 years of my life. I'm really mad at you. Where's the pound cake?" And so I start eating pound cake because I'm mad at my husband. Okay, that'll show him. No, it won't. So we have to get in front of this. I love the idea of the eggs. It doesn't have to be eggs if you don't like eggs. You can make cubes of cheese and put them in containers and put a Post-it note, and that is for being cheesed off. I'm cheesed off. I'm eating the cheese. Ha ha. Not that you want to overeat food, but if the best thing you can do is lay off the carbs and you eat keto-friendly food, even if you're not hungry, small steps. We are replacing behaviors with better behaviors. That's what we're doing, right? You can see my before photos in my blog. I didn't get to be that shape. And that was not my largest. Not even close. None of those photos were anywhere near my largest, my heaviest. I didn't get to be that large by making good food choices. I didn't get to be that large by not having pity parties and tamping down, I thought, the emotions with food. We've all said it. I use food to cope. No, we use food to not cope. For cope, there's an old thing in Alcoholics Anonymous, a trope. Someone's in recovery. And then they kind of wake up one day and say, wait a minute. I have to deal with all these issues and I have to do it sober? Yep. We have to deal with the issues. And I have 100% faith in Annie that she will be doing it. She will do it. And she won't be eating a handful of caramel popcorn again. Not that it's sinful, but what good is it doing? It does zero good. Zero nutrition. It's minus nutrition. It's negative nutrition. It saps the nutrition out of us. So the point is, face the emotions. If you can name it, you can tame it. I'm telling you, I'm going to take it as my own. Emotions. Trademark. Come up with a tool. It's not a trick. It's not a gimmick, or it's a tool, or it's a trick, or it's a gimmick. Who cares if it works? Recognize when you're about to put food that does not serve you in your mouth, not because you're hungry, but because you are angry, lonely, tired, bored, anxious, fearful, exhausted, having had a fight with someone, embarrassed. Just recognize it and say, you know what? If I eat this, will that fix the problem with my boss or my kid or my neighbor or my spouse or my bank balance? Will the food help with any of those things? People say, well, I was doing great and then life came at me. Life always comes at us. It does not ever stop, ever. Any more than if you stand at the edge of the water at the ocean, any more than the waves will stop, ever. They will never, ever stop. They will ebb, they will flow, high tide, low tide, the waves will never stop. Life will never stop. And we don't even have it as bad as other generations have had it. So let's get over ourselves a little bit. Yes, individually, tragedies are occurring. Tragedies have always occurred. And we have to arm ourselves as well as we can. We have to stay as healthy as possible. We have to encourage the people around us to stay as healthy as possible. We have to use common sense. We've always had to use common sense. Years ago, driving while drunk was not a big issue. Now drunk driving is a big issue. We have to take care of ourselves. We have to make better choices. But life always comes at us on a big scale, on a tiny scale. For instance, I had 2 contractors in my house yesterday for a total of 4 hours, and I sleep with a home remodeler. I had 2 other people in here, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. We have some foundation issues, including our chimney. Not happy to hear $18,000 to do this and then an additional $12,000 to do that. No. What am I going to do? Buy some ding-dongs? Oh, that'll fix the foundation. No. It's life. It's what happens. We'll figure it out. All right. Having made my little lecture, I am going to turn attention to you lovely folks who are here. Shameless Commerce Division time from the Go Keto with Casey. Just trying to earn my keep around here and maybe help towards the chimney. Okay. Go Keto with Casey, 12-month record book, spiral bound, available at my blog. It costs a little bit more and takes longer to get to than this one, which is perfect bound, same book. You can get it at Amazon for cheaper and they'll get it to you faster because Amazon. And the very last of my 2021 calendars and my shirts and the face mask that I really think is cute. And several people have commented on it. There might be bacon in here. Go keep it, Casey. Okay, done. Now let's look to the people. There's Annie. Zero good, and it makes me feel cruddy. This is good. It does no good. Eating food that does not serve us does no good, and it makes us feel bad and guilty and like a loser afterwards. Good point. GT 27312. Jill, there is more research on the keto protocol than any other quote so-called diet. Okay, so Jill Harbottle writes, but what about people who say it's not good for you? Well, they're wrong. Cite their sources. And yes, there is more research. Dr. Westman has said often, if the FDA studied it, this would be FDA approved. Okay, look at me. I'm 62. I started this when I was 55, postmenopausal, post-hysterectomy. What else have I had? 3 cases of cancer diagnosed and treated. I'm old. And I was super fat. And I'd given up on losing weight. I'm on 0 medications. My blood sugar this morning was 62. I took it because I was curious. My blood pressure is perfect. My doctor told me I don't need to lose any more weight, which I never thought anyone would ever say to me, ever in my life, ever. I have plenty of energy. I'm really strong. So, Jill, they're just wrong. Diane Paul writes, good morning. Diane is a patron. The cooking studio, Fort Collins. Thanks for the shout out, Casey. Absolutely, Trish. Melissa Lewis, headed to the ocean. Yay! The waves are going to keep coming, aren't they? Charlene Johnson writes, Jill, the people who say it's not good for you have been brainwashed for years to follow the good food pyramid. And let me tell you, not for nothing. I'm sorry, I keep hitting my microphone. Not for nothing. The people say it's not good for you. There's probably an underlying current with those people. They really just want to keep eating their carbs. They still want their chips and their fries. They still want their ice cream and their cookies. They still want their pizza and bread. So it's easier for them to say it's not good for you. Okay. I have people that are heavier than I am that look at me cockeyed and think I'm, well, actually no one around me now does that. In the beginning, it was like, you're crazy. That's okay. I don't mind. LB Alexander, coffee mugs. No, I'm out of the coffee mug business. You can, at least for me, fulfilling them. On my Teespring store, there's like a mug that says coffee with Casey. I had one and I broke it. I need to buy another one. You can, I'm stronger than a cookie. So look at my Teespring store and there's all kinds of things there. But thank you for asking. Jill Harbottle writes, I'm eating my emotions. I know my hubby passed away recently. Before that, I'd lost weight and was feeling great, but putting more weight on now, eating normally, back to keto then, and just trust. Yes, you have to trust it. Sorry for your loss. And it sounds, I don't mean it to sound harsh. I've buried many people in my family of origin. Both of my parents and 3 of my brothers are gone. Food would bring none of them back. And I can't imagine your husband wants you to feel ill and to eat in a way that makes you ill. So good luck. And yes, and please do trust. There's no reason not to follow this protocol. If you do it correctly. Now, if you're going to eat if you're going to eat fat and carbs, just go to Dunkin' Donuts. Just eat fatty sources of protein. This is not a high-fat diet. You don't eat extra fat. You don't need to have fat bombs and oily coffee. You don't have to have 200 grams of fat a day. Do not we don't do the M word around Go with Keto with Casey. That's never been part of the protocol. Grams of fat, grams of protein, never been part of the protocol. Just eat the fat that comes with the protein. Eat the eggs with the yolks. The steak with the fat. The poultry with the skin, et cetera, et cetera. You get the idea. Sherry Brink writes, yes, they are wrong. Was 294 pounds better than me being on keto, better than me being on the keto protocol. Now down 35 pounds since Christmas. Bravo, bravo. LB Alexander, buy bagels and the sugar crash afterwards are healthier. Don't miss the sugar crashes. That's a thing too. Denise Anderson writes, I've had to learn not to get frustrated by the scale. There are other victories. I pound this. I think scale is maybe number 7. If you weigh, and I weigh myself every day, and I have done so since December 18th, 2000, way back in the Move More, Eat Less, try the triathlons, follow the food pyramid. I have a ginormous spreadsheet that was MyFitnessPal before there was a MyFitnessPal. Heck, it was before there was an iPhone, I believe. The only time I haven't weighed myself is when I've been laid up for surgeries or traveling, or one ill-fated month where I said, well, this is not working. I weigh every day and I'm not working, so I'm going to stop weighing myself. I put on 13 pounds by the time I came back to weighing. But if weighing yourself upsets you, and we had a conversation about this in one of the snippets, if weighing yourself every day is a bad thing for you, if you either haven't lost or if you've gained, so if you've stayed steady or you've gained, and that's bad, and it kind of wrecks your day. And if the only way you're going to be happy is if you've lost weight, every day you have a 50% chance of having your day ruined by an inanimate object. That all it's doing, and you can't calculate for water retention, not even edema, just our bodies fluctuate. So unless you're weighing and it informs your decision-making process, or you say, oh, well, I thought that there was something funny about that sauce at that restaurant. Now I know. Lay off the scale. How do you feel? Can you sleep better? Is your joint pain gone? Do you not need an afternoon nap? Is your mood regulated? Are you finding, by the way, medications, if you are taking medications for blood sugar, if you're taking insulin, you must do this under supervision. Why? Because when you lay off the carbs, your blood sugar can drop too much. And then if you're still taking insulin, hypoglycemia can happen. That. Jill Harbottle writes, thanks, Casey, for your lovely people. You and your lovely people. And they are lovely people. Trish O'Neill writes, 2 eggs with a glass of water kills the cravings. I don't love eggs, but I hate cravings more. Just thought that hate is an emotion for the emoticons. Emotions. Emoticon is another thing. We can come up with angry eggs. That's another thing. Trademark. Okay, so we can come up with little eggs and they can have their faces on them. Those can be emoticons, but we can have emotions. See, I love this. Clever people. GT27312 writes, yep, I'm almost 70, and in 1 year I lost 85 pounds and feel better. It's never too late, which is the opposite of what many of us have been told for decades. Okay, right, thanks. I'm going to start at the next meal. Why wait? Exactly, writes Jill. Why wait? I don't know what day of the week January 8th, 2014 was. It might have been a Tuesday. I don't know. I watched Dr. Eric Westman's white coat video because I Googled how to not take insulin for type 2 diabetes. Came across the video. And as I've said to his face, in front of him, in front of other people, because he and I are now friends. By the way, Durham Support Group Meeting, the virtual edition, Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, Dr. Eric Westman and myself, and I'm usually standing right here, and he's on this screen over here in his place. It's free. It is a registered event. You can find it at crowdcast.com/GoKetoWithCasey, or go to my blog under my schedule and scroll on down to the first Tuesday of every month, and there's the registration. Anywho, so I saw the white coat video, and I don't know whether it was his boyish good looks or his calm delivery, but it rang true for me. So I said, well, because I didn't want to take insulin for type 2 diabetes. So the next time I ate, I just laid off the carbs. That's all I did. I didn't make an announcement. I didn't go through any rigmarole. I just laid off the carbs. And within about a week, I knew something was really different. "6 years maintaining," writes Melissa Lewis, "over 50 pounds gone. Hey, Jill's mommy. Hey, Luke. Oh, you look so beautiful in blue. Thank you. Blue is my favorite color. GT writes, Jill, there is no time like the present. Let me know how you're doing as you continue on your successful path. And the scale in the trash, writes Melissa. Go, Jill. Alexa says it was a Wednesday. Thank you very much. So, see, I had no idea. January 8th, 2014 was a Wednesday. I don't wait for Mondays. Oh, by the way, this record book, someone wrote me that they had gotten it and they said, better late than never. The reason I made this a 12-month record book and not 2021 record book, it's never, you can start anytime. It's 12 months. You can start today and just look back, make notes to yourself. It's all kinds of things and quotes in it. And it's never too late to be what you might have been. George Eliot. Be yourself. Everyone else is taken, attributed to Oscar Wilde. And then habit trackers and stuff. You don't have to wait. Starting on a Wednesday is great. Starting on a Saturday afternoon with your next meal is fantastic. Christina Polishchik, good afternoon. How do you say hello in Polish? Is it hello? It's almost the same word in almost every language, isn't it? Suzanne Butts, GT, awesome. Melissa, fantastic. Suzanne is a patron too. What am I drinking? You must watch the video to find out. I'm not going to write this down again. Tall glass, full of ice. Diet tonic water, almost up to the top. A splash of diet cranberry juice and a squeeze of lime. Hashtag Casey's pink drink. Some people have shared that they enjoy hashtag Casey's pink drink with a little vodka in it after the sun is over the yard arm, if you know what I mean. By the way, I'm branching out my blog. There is life beyond keto, not after keto, but beyond. So I've added some stuff at my blog behind the scenes because the whole point of me doing this was to re-enter my life. And I've been re-entering my life and I'm very excited about stuff. So I've got seeds started on my kitchen table, very low tech. I planted them in egg cartons. I got some grow lights from Amazon and they're on heat mats. And I didn't have a seed starting plastic dome. So I have Pyrex glass dishes inverted over them. And they're sprouting. I've got broccoli and cabbage. Brussels sprouts are being slow to come in. But what am I reading? What are we eating? Not that I want it to be about the food. But this is not recipes so much as techniques. Although if you really want techniques, check out the cooking studio in Fort Collins, Colorado. Aaron Workman writes, absolutely, with a little vodka. GT writes, I'm usually in the corner lurking, Casey. It's Gail Thompson. Hey, Gail. Good to see ya. Nani B. Casey's special pink drink. Christina Polishchik. Most common is Dzień dobry. Dzień dobry. Is that anything close to a correct pronunciation? Dzień dobry. Mona Tufan. Merhaba, Casey. That's hello in Turkish. Mona's in Istanbul. Merhaba. Okay. Dzień dobry in merhaba. Is it merhaba? Like with a I like language. And I have a facility for it. Annie Lewis. Ryan Holiday. Love him. Yes. I'm currently reading Lives of the Stoics. And it's very interesting. If you want to get perspective on how we're not our generation didn't invent anxiety and conflict. And the daggone Stoics had infighting, and they were Stoics, for heaven's sake. It's like infighting amongst Buddhist monks. No, it's soft. Okay, merhaba. Thank you. Jill's mommy writes, hello. Hello, eh? Is hello and Yooper. She's a Yooper, which I found out is from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and they are called Yoopers. It's in the dictionary. Meshelin Asar, merhaba, marhaba, marhaba. Thank you. Elaine Poinsett. Message deleted. Okay. All righty. Let me see. Okay, Dr. Westman's, the Durham Support Group meeting with Dr. Westman and me, first Tuesday of the month. Wednesday wine day with Amy Berger and me, third Wednesday of the month. And one of these days, I'm going to get back to having my Go Keto with Casey meetup in Greensboro at Wine Styles the first Monday of the month. But I'm going to wait until we get the all clear. Debbie Longnecker writes, hello from Kukuna, Idaho. Hello, hey. Hello, hey. That's Pig Latin, right? This is great. Now, I want to drive home again. Find something that helps you. Dzień dobry. I'm not phonetic. Dzień dobry for hello in Polish. Find a substitute. Find a new habit. Because eating out of stress, out of anger, out of boredom, this is habitual. This is habit. This is behavior. It is not an involuntary reflex, even though we want to tell ourselves. Find something. If you're not into eggs, or like Trish says, she doesn't particularly, adore eggs, but she hates cravings worse. But also make a different choice. We don't want to believe it, but what we put in our mouths is a choice. Good thing is, we're all stronger than a cookie. That you can get at my Teespring shop. So thank you very much. Stay warm, stay safe, try to stay positive. Find a few minutes for yourself every day to think about something that has nothing to do with keto or food, or just let your mind go. As it's saying, let that go. Even if it's just for 3 minutes. I spend 25 minutes every day meditating in my way. And I find it very helpful. And I used to be quite an anxious person. I am no longer anxious. Honestly. It is a relief. If I can do this, you can do this. 100%. So keep your carbs 20 grams or fewer a day, total not net. If it's not on page 4, link below. Don't eat it, but you don't even really need a food list. Don't eat if you're not hungry, and stop when you're satiated. And take it one mouthful at a time. Hey, Trish, no longer craving food, but planning for fuel. There we go. Trish is a helicopter pilot. That's so cool. All right, friends. Thank you very much. Stay safe.